My daughter-in-law did not shout at me. She did not insult me. She did not raise her voice. She simply said one sentence at the dinner table, and my place in the family quietly disappeared. She said it would be better if I ate in my room because I was old and my hands shook too much. I was 99 years old, living in America, sitting at the same table where I once fed my son with these very hands. My hands tremble now. I try to control them, but they no longer listen. Sometimes the spoon shakes, sometimes a little food falls. I feel embarrassed even before anyone says anything. That night, when the food slipped from my hand and landed on the tablecloth, the room went silent. My daughter-in-law looked uncomfortable. My son looked away. That is when she spoke, not with anger, but with tiredness. She said, "Maybe it's better if he eats separately. It's cleaner this way." Cleaner. That word stayed with me. I was not dirty. I was just old. I slowly stood up, picked my plate, and walked to my room. No one stopped me. No one argued. That hurt more than the words. In my room, I sat on the edge of the bed and looked at my hands. These hands worked for more than 60 years. These hands paid for this house. These hands carried groceries, fixed broken doors, and held my son when he was scared at night. Now these same hands were the reason I could not sit with my family. This is how many stories end in America, not with cruelty, but with convenience. Life is fast here. People are tired. Homes are busy. Old age does not fit well into modern schedules. So elders are slowly pushed aside, politely, quietly, and legally. First the table, then the conversations, then the decisions. By the time an old home is mentioned, the elder already feels like a guest. I did not complain. Old people often stay silent because we fear being a burden. I did not want my son to feel stressed. I did not want arguments in his house, but silence has a price. Every night after that, I ate alone. I could hear laughter from the dining room, plates clinking, conversations about work, bills, plans. I was alive, but slowly becoming invisible. My son loved me, I know that. But love in adulthood becomes complicated. He was caught between respect for his father and peace in his marriage. In America, marriage often wins. Not because children are bad, but because life is expensive, emotions are stretched, and patience is limited. Old age needs patience. When patience runs out, elders are the first to be removed. I started remembering my own mistakes. When I was young, I was always busy. I told my parents I would call later. I thought there would always be time. Now I understood how later feels when you are the one waiting. Old age teaches lessons when it is too late to fix them. I saw my future clearly, eating alone today, sitting alone tomorrow, then someone suggesting a nursing home because it would be safer and more comfortable. In America, those words are often used to hide guilt. Old homes are not always bad, but many people are sent there not because they need care, but because families need space. If you are watching this and you are not old yet, listen carefully. One day your hands may shake too. One day you may move slower. One day you may repeat stories. That day will come faster than you think. What kind of place are you creating for your future self? A place of dignity or a place of quiet removal? This was only the beginning of my story. The dinner table was just the first thing I lost. After I stopped eating at the table, other things slowly changed. Decisions were made without asking me. Doctor appointments were discussed in the kitchen while I sat in my room. When guests came over, I was introduced quickly and then gently guided back to my chair like a fragile object. No one meant harm, but intention does not erase impact. I was becoming something that needed to be managed instead of respected. One afternoon, my son sat beside me. His voice was soft, careful, like he was talking to a child. He said they were worried about me. He said they loved me. He said an old home might be safer, cleaner, and less stressful for everyone. He used words like care, support, and professionals. He did not use the word inconvenience, but it was hanging in the air. I asked him one question. I asked if I had done something wrong. He said no. I asked if I was no longer wanted. He stayed quiet. Silence is an answer old people understand very well. In America, old homes are often presented as a gift, a solution, a responsible choice. Sometimes they truly are. But many times, they are chosen because families are overwhelmed, uncomfortable, or simply unprepared for aging. Society teaches people how to raise children, but not how to live with parents when they grow old. The day I arrived at the old home, I saw familiar faces in unfamiliar bodies. People who once mattered greatly to someone. People who once had full houses, loud dinners, and busy lives. Now they had schedules, pills, and quiet hallways. Everyone there had a story that started like mine. Not with abuse, but with small exclusions. At night I lay awake thinking about the dinner table. Not the food, but the feeling. Being included, being seen. Old age does not need luxury. It needs presence, a chair, a voice, a little patience. When those are missing, even the nicest room feels empty. I realized something painful. Most families do not plan emotionally for old age. They plan financially. They save for retirement, insurance, and medical care. But they do not plan for shaking hands, slower steps, or changing roles. They do not talk about boundaries, respect, or dignity while everyone is still healthy. So when old age arrives, fear and frustration take over. If you are young and watching this, understand this clearly. Do not wait until you are old to protect your dignity. Talk early, plan early. Decide how you want to be treated when your body changes. Money can buy care, but only conversations can protect respect. I was not angry at my son. I was disappointed in the silence we both lived with for years. Silence that started long before my hands began to shake. Living in the old home gave me a lot of time to think. When life becomes quiet, memories get loud. I remembered my younger days, chasing work, chasing money, believing I was doing everything for my family. I believed providing was the same as being present. I believed love would understand silence. I was wrong. Old age does not punish you for mistakes. It simply shows them to you clearly. I met a man there who was once a teacher for 40 years. His children lived in the same city, yet he saw them twice a year. I met a woman who raised 5 kids alone. They sent her flowers every Mother's Day, but never sat with her for dinner. None of us were bad parents. None of our children were monsters. We were all victims of a system that values speed over care and comfort over connection. One day, my son visited me. He looked tired, older than I remembered. He held my shaking hands and said he was sorry. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. That apology mattered, but what mattered more was what came after. He stayed. He listened. For the first time in years, I felt like a father again, not a responsibility. That day taught me something important. Old people do not need perfection. We need effort. We need honesty. We need our families to admit that aging is hard for everyone, not just the person growing old. When families talk openly, resentment shrinks. When they stay silent, distance grows. If you are watching this and you are under 50, please understand this. Old age does not suddenly arrive at 80 or 90. It starts with the habits you build now. Talk to your family about the future while everyone is healthy. Set clear expectations. Decide together how care, respect, and space will work. Do not leave these conversations for crisis moments. If you are married, remember that welcoming a partner into your life also means respecting the people who came before them. If you are a parent, remember that your children are learning from how you treat elders today. One day, they will treat you the same way. I am 99 years old. I don't have many days left. But I have peace knowing that my story might help someone else avoid the same pain. I don't want sympathy. I want awareness. I want families to slow down before pushing elders aside. I want old age to be seen as a phase of life, not a problem to solve. Now I want to ask you something important. If your hands started shaking tomorrow, would your family make space for you, or would they slowly move you away? And if your parents or elders are still with you, when was the last time you truly sat with them without checking the clock? Write your answer in the comments. Your words might change how someone treats an elder tonight. If this story felt real to you, it's because it is happening in thousands of homes across America right now. Old age does not need silence. It needs voices. Thank you for listening.